So there's four of us in a bar, and my friend notices this really cute blonde sitting by herself across the room. And then he just speeds over to her, has a conversation, and we're looking at him going, how's he going to do? And the guys, we're having a bit of banter. And what I noticed was he was really awkwardly talking to her. But 2 minutes later, he walks back like a dog between his tail between his legs. And we asked him, how'd it go? He says, nah, no, no good. And we kind of just left it at that. And then we started our conversation, and he seemed kind of like disconnected. 2 minutes later, he said, I'm going back. He storms over, talking to her. And again, it looked very awkward. And at this point, I'm getting embarrassed for him. I'm looking around. I'm like, he's just been shot down. He's been rejected. I wonder what are the other women thinking about this? So I'm feeling quite self-conscious. And this is one of the things that a lot of nice guys struggle with, is like a lot of self-consciousness, like a lot of judgments of like, what are the other people? This is why I don't want to go and approach in case I get shot down. Anyway, so he gets shot down again, comes back and starts, getting involved in that conversation. And we're kind of like taking the piss out of him a little bit. And again, he's so disconnected. Third time, he goes back, marches to her, has a conversation, starting this conversation. But this time, he sits right next to her. And they're having a conversation. And I'm thinking, okay, 1 minute's gone past, 2 minutes, he should be back any minute now. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes later, he comes back, and he comes back with her. And he introduces her. Hey, guys, this is such and such. And then the evenings, she kind of like joined our group. She was by herself. She was visiting her friends. And the next day she was flying away. What that taught me was the power of persistency, the power of not giving up, because we're moving in a world, or the world direction that's going is a lot of people are now giving up so easily. I mean, you look at the new Gen Z kind of generation, a little bit of trauma, a little bit of trouble, a little bit of destabilization, they just give up. They collapse in that. So it's nice to see that there are some men out there that have that persistency. Women want to see a guy who can be persistent. Women want to see a confident guy, a charismatic guy, a charming guy, a guy who's not going to fold and easily give up at a single hint of rejection, a hint of that there's an obstacle in the way. These men that do really well with women, that succeed in relationships, that succeed in conversations, that don't avoid conflict, that do well in life, live a more prosperous life, they never give up. They are persistent. And here's a quote from a book, and I recommend this book to all my clients that I work with in my coaching practice, is to get this book. It's called Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And in that, he says, patience, persistence, and perspiration makes an unbeatable combination for success. And it's like there's always going to be challenges that you have to be persistent at. And you're going to be messy. Even like with these videos that I'm making, I find this to be one of my greatest challenges, but I'm sticking with it. It's messy. It's painful. I hate it. I'm always comparing myself to other people. I wonder if they'll like my video or not. I'm wondering, are they going to judge it? Are they going to put a rude comment? I'm exposing myself. But that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of vulnerability to put yourself out there. So when you put yourself out there and you stay consistent, and here's something that's really important as well, is that when you're consistent and you're persistent, you gotta also experiment. You also gotta try out new things. A lot of guys will just try one or two different things and then say, it doesn't work, and I give up. Or I'll keep repeating the same thing, getting the same results, and saying, see, it doesn't work. This is the point where you retract, come back, learn, adjust, and then reapproach. That's exactly what my friend did. His second approach was different to his first one. He tried out something. It didn't work. So he came back. He went again. And then he reapproached. This time he sat with her, had a conversation. Now, gentlemen, it's so important I want to reiterate this message, is when a woman says no, you listen to that. At any point she says no, you stop what you're doing and you assess what you're doing. So if she says no, you don't take it personally. And that's such an important message as well. Never take it personally. Never get butthurt about it. She says no. She says no. And it's the same right that you have. You might want to say no in certain situations. Sometimes it takes a lot of courage to say that. For a lot of nice guys, they don't have that. And you want that no to be respected. So as moment she says no, you respect that. But it also doesn't mean that you can't reapproach. It doesn't mean that you can't come back with a new approach, a new adjustment. Now, when a woman is in a relationship, she's already married, she'll say no. And usually those women will let you know, hey, listen, thank you. I appreciate it, but I'm already with somebody. I'm married. I'm taken. I have a boyfriend. And when they say that, just take it at that face value and say, okay, cool. You have a boyfriend. And some women will say that, look, I have a boyfriend just to get rid of you. There's plenty of fish in the sea. But if you're charming and you're confident and you're charismatic, most women that don't have a boyfriend, who normally say I have a boyfriend, they will be open and receptive to you. So it's a lot about your aura, your energy, the smile that you bring in, the confidence that you bring in. You got to ooze all of those things. If you come in with a lot of creepy kind of like attitude, and what I mean by creepy, is because when guys hide their intention, they'll sneakily look at a woman, and then when the woman catches his eye, and then he kind of like looks away. He doesn't have the confidence to hold his eye gaze. He doesn't have the confidence to, the fact that he's being apologetic about the fact that he finds someone attractive. Creepy individuals hide. They constantly filter themselves, and women can feel that distrust. I don't trust him. There's something about him that isn't sitting with me. And usually it's her mirror neurons that are picking up the fact that you're not being completely transparent. You're not being completely honest. It's like you're approaching a woman and then you have a hidden agenda. And it's this hidden agenda that women pick up. If the fact that I really like you, I want to take you on a date. I'm direct about this. When you're direct, she understands your approach, and she understands that you're not sexually hiding yourself, but also you're not sexually flaunting yourself. You could have that sexual self-control. Whereas a lot of nice guys that have a lot of sexual shame, they'll hide themselves. And because they'll hide themselves, they're embarrassed about themselves. When they get shot down, they don't reapproach. They're afraid to reapply, and they're afraid to experiment. So it's so important to remember that when you're talking to women, you're having a conversation, you're approaching, and this is just about life. You got to have that consistency, that push. And just the other day, my son was trying to figure something out, and I've seen this in kids, and it's very adolescent behaviors. Like there's a struggle, there's a problem, or give up, and let's throw the thing away and let dad fix it, let mom fix it. And because you've been so used to your parents just taking the problem and solving it for you, you've not really had that resilience or development to actually solve the problem. And I said to my son, try something different, experiment. And he started, I said, stick with it, because I can see his frustration. Because I was seeing his frustration, I wanted to take that away. But when I saw the fact that he was experimenting, reapplying, not giving up, he eventually got it. So continue to experiment. Stay on the course until success. So continue, experiment, be persistent, be consistent until success. If it's not success, if you haven't reached success, it means it's going to be messy and you carry on. In Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, there's a really great story about this guy. It's called 3 Feet from Gold. This guy invested in a lot of machines to dig for gold, and he was digging and digging and digging, and he didn't find anything. Somebody else took the plans, they bought the machine off him, and then he realized that the guy who was digging initially, there was something flawed in his plan. So the guy reapproached. Something I said before is reapproach with a new plan, new idea. And this is where coaching can really help you, because if you're making the same mistake and you're getting the same results, or you're getting inconsistent results, you might need somebody else to be able to help you reapproach. Think of something that you're not thinking of. Maybe you have a blind spot. So this guy had obviously had a blind spot, but the new guy who took this machine on, he realized that he was very close to goal. He was only 3 feet away, so he needed to realign. And he changed the drill direction and carried on digging. And there you go, found gold. So continue, reapproach, reevaluate, get some feedback, but do not stop until you reach success. Women want to see a guy who's determined and he doesn't fold, doesn't collapse at a small hurdle of her saying, no, thank you, I don't want you. Why give up so easily? Continue. All right, gentlemen, I hope this helps.